Welcome to another segment of Lousje and Bean Behind the Scene. It's garden time. Welcome, lovelies. Well, here we are, the long anticipated garden tour. I am delighted that we finally got to this point, but I wanted to wait until the garden was in optimum, well, it's not optimum yet, but it's almost there, in optimum beauty. And we did a little bit of research how the garden was before. I found some pictures. Here's a picture of when we just bought the house. It was 4 years ago and pretty well war zone, right? So unbelievable what has happened. Garden experts came in and gave us advice on how to, but we had a plan already. But anyway, with the help of them, they made it into the basic where I could then start planting and doing what I love to do most. And here is a picture of the garden just planted last year. The trees and, well, as you can see, it's still very bare. It's a new garden, right? And then here is a picture of spring of this year. I think it was May, where everything had started just to come up. And I really needed to evaluate what made it, what didn't make it, what needed to, be replaced, put it in another garden in the front maybe. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like now. We're in July, and every morning when I wake up and I look at it, I really think, how did this happen? It's such a beautiful garden. And I enjoy every minute of it. And mind you, lovelies, I'm compromised. My back is giving me a big problem, as you know. And so Glenn is doing his best and Oscar is helping me. But as you know, with the rain and with this heat, it's growing like crazy, and so are the weeds. So it's not perfect, but that's okay. I don't mind a not perfect garden. So let's come along with me and let's do the tour. Okay, lovelies, well, here we are stepping onto the patio, and we are looking at my tomato plant who's starting to show some red tomatoes. And this is this beautiful honeysuckle that I planted last spring. I didn't realize at the time when I bought a honeysuckle that I wanted one to bring fragrance to us on hot summer nights. And there's a difference. There's some honeysuckle that is not fragrant, and this is one of them. It is called a coral honeysuckle, and it's good for bees and butterflies and all that, but not good for fragrance. But anyway, it shows beautiful, and it grew from a very small plant to this beautiful climbing vine. This is our birding area that we see from our patio. I have some ground cover. This is our rock garden that you're looking at. It's easy peasy. I don't have to do much to it. It's all self-serving, actually. Oh my goodness, our trees that we planted 3 years ago, the Shade Master locust is absolutely gorgeous, and they grew like crazy. And the Japanese maple bush was here when we bought the house. It looked very, very dilapidated, and it's come up beautiful. Underneath the Japanese maple, you see that tomato stake. I put that around the plant. It's called the lady's mantle. It's one of my favorite plants. And Charlie has taken it as his target. The minute he comes out in the morning, he pees on it. So it's turning brown, and I put the tomato stake around it, and he's avoiding it now. So I don't know which plant he picked, but it's such a beautiful plant. So hopefully it will grow back. I'm sure it will. Lots of pots I have filled. And of course my hostas are gorgeous. We are looking at the hydrangeas that I transplanted from Glenn's old house against the fence. They're doing absolutely gorgeous. And they came also back from being very small and skinny and really non-existent. I'm getting a lot of things for my birthday and Christmas. This is one plaque that my son Josh gifted me. I love these little out of the ordinary pieces to put in the garden. It makes it interesting. The blue birdhouse is a gift from my son Sam. He made it himself years ago, and I hung on to it. And then the heron in the garden is also from Josh. I planted salvia, which is in front of it. I realized that once it's bloomed out, you trim it, and then it comes back again for a second bloom. so it's soon to be trimmed. I have this Buddha. It was also a gift from my son, Josh. I had beautiful irises. They're finished blooming now. More astilbe and more hostas. In front of the astilbe are the coral bells. I am a big, huge fan of coral bells. They're a beautiful plant. They have beautiful foliage. And then they have these long spikes that come up with the flower at the end. They are a shade-loving plant. I planted it and I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but yeah, the trees are now big enough, mature enough that they throw enough shade. So these beautiful coral bells can grow as luscious as they can. The beautiful sycamore tree, you can now compare to the pictures that I showed before. Honest to God, they've grown exponentially. It's been unbelievable. The hostas are beautiful this year. I don't know if you remember from last year, they had an illness, like they had these brown spots on them, but this year they're very healthy. The bush that is right there is a spirea. It's finished blooming. It was gorgeous, gorgeous pink blooms. Here in the front we see an azalea. I bought it early spring. So it's not going to bloom this summer, but it will bloom next year. I love azaleas. Also shade plants, so it's underneath the sycamore, which will throw enough shade. Right in front of it is a rose bush that was here. One of the few things that I kept. And then we have the sedum, another Japanese maple. I love the Japanese maples because of the color it gives in your backyard. It's a deep, rich red, which grows more intense with the months going by, and then in the fall it's at its best. Now we're looking at the deer that is planted in the sedum, and in front another coral bell. A beautiful, beautiful leaves, and the spikes have to come out yet with the flowers on top. And now more astilbe in the background there that is about to bloom. More hostas. And this is a mixed match of all kinds of plants that I was donated to me by my friend Renata. And they have also grown absolutely gorgeous. There's a phlox is about to bloom. And the tall, tall plant behind it is called Queen of the Prairie. I'd never heard of it. And since I've transplanted, I split the plant in half and I transplanted the other half on the other side of the garden, and it's equally lots of blooms, beautiful. Lots of sedum, which, as you know, if you're a garden lover, you know that sedum is late blooming. We have some daylilies. This is a little bit of a weedy area that needs to be tended to. The hostas, of course, are always beautiful. Yeah, the ivy is overgrowing our little shed and needs to be tackled and trimmed down. In the back here, we really cleaned it up, and I planted 3 hydrangeas. I planted some grasses, which I love. I love grasses. Once they grow and they start blowing in the wind, I think movement in your garden is always nice, right? If things move with the wind. That side is a little bare. The bridal veil is from our neighbors. It's a blessing and a curse because it grows like crazy. We have to trim that almost every other day. If you don't, the vines that come out will tangle themselves with my plants, and I'm not too happy about it. But anyway, Glenn tries to keep it under control. Here is the other Queen of the Prairie. I'd never heard of it. I love it. The flowers are absolutely gorgeous. Big plumes of pale, pale coral color. Our little hydrangea tree, it's a pinnacle hydrangea, and it's just now starting to bud. I was afraid it didn't make the winter, but it's full and full of buds. And once it's all in bloom, I'll take a picture and I just implement it in one of the videos. I have planted, you can't see it because they're small, but I've planted poppies. I've tried a dahlia. I'm back on the dahlia track, but I'm not too happy because it's not working that well. That's a lilac tree that we're looking at, a tall green one. And of course it had a few blooms this spring, but next year it will blossom, I'm sure. More coral bells. There's a grass planted behind the coral bells. And yeah, some poppies that will, blossom next year. They will grow. And then I am really happy with my little pond area, my little bird area. Next to it were miniature irises that bloomed gorgeous. And then the big, big daisies. Oh my God, Gorgeous. Okay, then this area here, next to the bird bed, behind the rock garden, is, honest to God, I've been so disappointed in it. I planted tiny little coral bells, and squirrels come and they eat all the buds. So I went to my favorite nursery, to Called Nursery, and I told them about it. They said, buy catmint and plant it in between because they can't stand the smell of catmint. And I've planted it in between, but so far the squirrels are still coming. Honest to God, those squirrels, I've been at war with them forever, and I probably will continue to be like that. Beautiful climbing roses. I bought 2 last year, red and then a champagne color. The champagne colored rose on the left, I had planted it against the house on the side, which was mostly shade. Big mistake. As you can see, it didn't thrive, but I think I transplanted it just in time, and it's got lots of buds now. It's small, so it has to catch up with the sister that is throwing lots of buds, and it's just thriving. I'm so enjoying watching the roses. We're nearing the end of the garden tour. We're back to the honeysuckle and the rock garden. The rock garden is a no-brainer, right? I do have to say we have irrigation every other day. 5 it goes on. It does the one side and then it switches over to the other side. So I have very little watering to do. The other thing that is so excited about this rock garden that I planted last year is the Kaura. It was a tip from my friend Shirley. She said, please plant it, you won't be sorry. It doesn't look that significant, but in real life, when you sit here and the wind blows, plus it attracts tons of bees. I have lots of bees in the garden. And if the wind blows, it's a beautiful movement. It's very lovely. It's elegant and beautiful. I did buy another honeysuckle. I planted it on the side of the house. It's in the full sun, and it is on the corner of the house and the patio sitting. So it threw quite a few blooms in the spring. It's kind of resting now. I don't know what it was doing, but the fragrance was unbelievable. And I'm just thrilled. The ground cover is doing beautiful. It's spreading like crazy. And in the bucket from seed, I grew cosmos. Inside, I grew it a few weeks before you could plant it. I don't know. I'm too impatient for growing seeds because I planted it in the barrel and it's now just starting to bloom. I'm in Aries, so it's not my strong forte to be patient. Ask Glenn about it. Anyway, it's now starting to really show nicely. And then in the pot, I planted a dahlia tuber, and I'm not going to plant it in the soil because I planted one in the soil. It wasn't that great. It's still not blooming. So I bought this as is, and then hopefully I can harvest the tuber, keep it over in the winter, and then plant it, and hopefully it will do better. Right next to the dahlia is another lady's mantle. You can see how gorgeous it is. And when it rains on these particular plants, it's like a picture from a fairy tale. The raindrops show so beautifully. And it's one of my favorite plants. Then I have a fern underneath the Japanese maple. And I have a miniature azalea. Perfect spots, right? Underneath this Japanese maple, which throws quite a bit of shade. And then in the walkway that we have to keep free because we need to bring the lawnmower down and the wheelbarrow when we do some gardening in the front. So it's a walkway that is used, and I planted some thyme there. It will flower. It will flower pink. I think it's a late blooming one. And as you can see, you know why and how it's become almost like a little park with all the trees from our neighbors around us and the bridal veil coming over the fence. I'm very happy with the progress, and I will keep you up to date. I so enjoyed doing this garden talk with you, and I hope you enjoyed it. It exceeded all my expectations on what I expected of the garden to be this summer. I'm enjoying it hugely, and I will keep you updated with news on the garden. And as always, to your garden lovelies, I hope you're enjoying your garden as much as I do. And I'm sure it's all lovely and it keeps you. I heard something exciting. It said 2 hours of gardening is 20 minutes in the gym, lifting weights or doing God knows what you're doing in the gym. But 2 hours in the garden, moving up and down, bending, going to your knees and everything. So not only is it mentally healthy for us, it's physically very healthy as well. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye and enjoy your day. And as always, keep on smiling.